Hey there, it's Dusty with another Reddit story for you. This one is, am I the astronaut for declining leftover food at my boyfriend's friend's barbecue after the group ate first right in front of us? Tell me your thoughts on if this was rude. I, 37 female, met my now ex, 38 male, ex's friends for the first time at a pre-drink BBQ he invited me to join him on. They seemed nice enough, but prior to getting there, my ex said that his friend messaged and said the host feels bad because they're having a barbecue and there may not be enough food for everybody. So if we see food lying around after, not to feel bad that we were not giving food. I said this is fine, of course. I assumed he meant that they'd have already eaten and there would be evidence of said barbecue around. We get there and it's clear they haven't eaten yet. 8 people were invited of the 12 guests to eat. 4 of us were not. When it came to the mealtime, the 8 of them sat around a nicely set table and chowed down, like filled their plates and ate without making eye contact with us while we stood on the outside of the table chatting. I thought it was so weird. My ex did not, I guess. It was awkward because we were actually starving. When the meal was done, the host got up and said, "Guys, please help yourself." AKA to the leftovers, LOL. I know people are all raised differently, but this struck me as odd. My ex went and got some food on a plate and came up to me and said, "Come eat." And for some reason, I just couldn't get myself to do it. I don't even know these people, and it was so uncomfortable. I politely said, "No thanks," and carried on my conversation. Well, my ex was so bothered by this reaction from me, it ruined the whole evening for him, and we actually broke up after that. He broke up with me. He had originally said that we would just eat together at the street festival, so I was bothered that he put me in that position and then was mad at me for choosing not to eat and grabbing a snack on the street. Is this culturally normal behavior for some people? I live in Canada. I would never eat in front of a guest in my home and not feed them, but is this normal behavior for some? Was I rude or wrong to do this? Or was he gaslighting me by being mad and making me feel like a rude person for declining food?
It was crazy.
Hold up. Okay, hold up. Making the 4 people who weren't part of the original 8 wait and watch you eat, and then when everybody's had their fill, then being like, "Okay, guys, it's open for you now. B team, jump on in there. The royal family has eaten. The help can have all the scraps." Queen Marjorie, frickin'. The leftovers from today's feast will be given to the poorest in the kingdom. Yeah, that was you, OP. You were made to feel like a pauper. You were made to feel like a freaking beggar. You were made to feel like there was some kind of charity barbecue event going on here. I just don't understand why. I see the problem here personally in your ex. The fact that your ex wasn't bothered by this tells me he puts himself in this position frequently. And you got to wonder what you're getting into at that point now, right? What do you think, Candy Thunder? Step right up. Tell us what you think here. I
just need to know, this will have to be a text polling, just comment, but would you eat the food after everyone had already eaten? Would you be like, "Oh yeah, dig in, here we go"? Because the way that the ex-boyfriend now, went and got his plate, it was like he'd done it before, he'd been there.
Exactly.
And I this would be so uncomfortable. And like she said, and she kind of reiterated this in comments, but she said, I was planning on eating at the street festival, so that's where I ate. But this whole thing, she's like, I didn't expect them to feed me food, but the whole thing was just so awkward and uncomfortable. I'd never experienced anything like that. But no, I'm like, I cannot imagine inviting people to my home. Or even if we didn't have enough, I'd be like, yeah, just bring a couple burgers and we'll throw them on for you. Or if it was a really last minute thing. But I would give somebody else the food off my plate before I would let them sit there and watch me eat.
Or worst case scenario, you'd be like, hey, we specifically have this meal prepped for 8. Mm-hmm. So we'll catch you next time. Don't.
Or come at this time.
Be like, hey.
This is so weird. It's so weird to me. And it's so weird that they didn't have a seat and they just had to stand behind them and just watch them eat. It's so awkward. It's so awkward.
It's like you were waiting for a table in a really crowded restaurant.
Yeah.
But instead of being able to order your own food, you had to eat the scraps that the table that just got up left behind. Also, even though she didn't eat any food, she still had to use one of those barbecue wet naps afterwards just to wipe the ick off.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, I would give someone my chair. I would give someone my plate. I would give someone my burger. Like, if you're in
But
my
don't you
home,
dare touch her Tam Tams.
yeah, those would be hidden away from guests. But I would never invite somebody into my home and like eat in front of them and like not, and then be like, oh, by the way, I've gotten all I need.
Wait, what would have happened if OP stepped up and started walking over to like make a plate before the peasants were allowed?
Right.
Well, they'd be like, what would have happened? Would someone have jumped up and said no? Like, what would have happened?
What? I mean,
But
which
he
is
got
fine.
butthurt.
And he's like, eat the scraps. Why won't you eat my friend's scraps? And she's like, because it's weird. And he's like, just eat them.
It's not weird. It's good.
Yeah.
So,
Good and free.
do you think he was actually upset that she wouldn't eat it because he wanted her to eat it? Or do you think he was upset because if she didn't eat it, then he'd be the only one standing there holding the plate?
I know. Did the other two people eat it? I mean, we need to know. We need to know. And people on Reddit were like, it's not their responsibility to feed you. You don't invite people to your house to have them watch you eat. Like, that's just, that's bad behavior.
I still put it on the boyfriend here because he knowingly entered this situation that he was okay with, and that was really awkward for his significant other.
He dumped, like, the reasoning why he dumped her, like, explaining that. Well, you see, what happened was we had to watch people
She
eat.
wouldn't eat the scraps, man. She wouldn't eat the scraps. And OP, you got to take a little bit of this with you because he dumped you, but ate scraps.
Yeah.
So scraps are good enough for him. You're not.
Because you ate street food from, like, vendor street food instead.
Which was probably more of a case of, look, if you're not willing to dumpster dive for barbecue with me, we can't be together.
Like, you can have what's left on our plates.
It's a way of life. It's a way of life. So yeah,
Oh my
NT. I thought it might end up as like as an ESH maybe if there was some kind of twist, but no, this is a definite NT.
Someone said, did the boyfriend do it so he could break up with her? I don't know. That's an epic scheme to break up with
What
somebody.
a cowardly waste of barbecue.
We're just gonna sit here and watch you eat, so I can make this elaborate breakup scheme. I don't know. Or they're just shitty people, and he's also shitty, and that's who he truly. I don't know. Maybe he's not shitty. I don't know. It's freaking weird.